What's good, future millionaires? We back with another banger. I'm December DeMarco, Fortune 500 marketer, here to share my insights of the market with y'all to hopefully help y'all become better informed investors. Salute to y'all for pulling up on the channel. Make sure you hit that thumbs up, like button for the YouTube algorithm, and do not forget to subscribe, man. So I know it's tough right now for some looking at the price of Shiba Inu pullback, but in this video we're going to get into what's actually taking place. We're going to do some live technical analysis to talk about what's likely to play out next. So make sure y'all subscribe, have on notifications, also smash that like button. Let's get this video to 1,500 likes, y'all. We can do it. The last video I asked to do it, we weren't able to do it, but it's cool though. I think y'all got the power to help do this one. You know, it's a fresh day. You know, we got a lot more people tuning in to the channel. So if you're watching this right now, do me that favor, hit the like button. It's absolutely free. Let's get into this. And first, I want to say salute to y'all rocking with me. I know y'all been looking at my background, getting a little boring, but y'all got to remember, I just moved into my new place, so I'm still getting settled in. You know, this is just my office room, so yes, it's, you know, a little more empty than the rest of the house, but don't worry, we getting things, you know, ready to go. We have some, you know, some things in the background coming real soon, so make sure y'all give me a like for that as well. Give me some ideas as well what I can do to this space. I got a giant, well, it's not giant, but it's a pretty big size room, you know, empty though. What's some ideas that we can, you know, put in here to fill up the room? I think right here I'm gonna put my bookshelf. I'm gonna get that set up right there. We got a nice book collection I'm gonna bring in, and then, you know, I'm thinking about getting like some lights. You know, you see the lights going through the room or whatever. Also, man, I wanted to do a few things. Give me some ideas in the comment section, man. Shout out to y'all. But let's take a look at this Shiba Inu chart. We're looking at the trading view example. Right now we got SHIB price at 50939. Let's take a look at what's happening right now. So obviously we see Shiba Inu just broke out, you know, yesterday. We seen it get all the way up to that 1052 level before we started to sell off. Now, why did it start selling off right here? Because if you look at this area, we have a previous support. And what does previous support become? New resistance. So take a look right here in the chart, this area. You notice the chart found some support right around here, and that's right around the same spot where investors start to sell. So in the last video, we talked about how people started to take profit here, pulled the price back, and guess what happened overnight? $91 million worth of large transactions came in. So what does that mean? Transactions the size of $100,000 or more came in after profit takers started to, you know, sell off their positions. The whales came and scooped up all those tokens for a lower price than they seen that they just were worth. This is what whales do. They wait for the breakout, they catch it on the retracement, and then they buy in, and then usually we see the price continue to move. Now, do we think this movement is done? A few things we want to pay attention to. So obviously we've been in an uptrend since around June 10th. And remember, we talk about June 15th. Remember, we talk about this stuff here first. I noticed a few, in which I don't mind anybody watching my videos and getting any information or inspiration, but I just want to let y'all know as viewers that this is where you come get it first if you're, you know, serious about your investment, education, and Shiba Inu journey. But since June 15th, we've been in this uptrend, right? We've seen this breakout take place. We called this before it even happened. We've seen this breakout here. Now, a few things I'm thinking, you know, can happen. First thing I'm paying attention to is this volume. Look at how large this volume candle is. Yes, after that, we did get some selling pressure in, but this was a large spike in volume. Usually when we see this much volume come in, we might see a retracement, but it usually continues. Let's take an example at, you know, looking at the chart previously. So take a look here. Let me see if y'all can see that okay. So I'm gonna take my camera down so that way it's not blocking the screen so y'all can see what I'm talking about. So if we take a look, let's look at some of these other areas where we got massive volume candles. Take a look here. Let me adjust this. Okay, take a look at this volume candle right here. So this is where we are now. This is our volume candle here, large volume candle. Let's go back. Look at some of these volume candles. Take a look at this large volume candle. Notice what happened afterwards. Price, you know, it shot up on that volume, but then it pulled back, it retraced. But look, it continued to go even further. Let's take a look at another area. Even right here, large volume came in. Price went up. It did retrace. Now this one pulled under a little bit deeper, but take a look eventually what happened. Price went right back up over that area. So large volumes candles are usually a sign, you know, that is going to attract more buyers, more smart money coming in, you know, after that retracement. So looking at this chart right here, what I'm thinking could possibly play out is we can get some type of bull flag forming over here where the price trades and bounces around in this area until it forms this flag playing out in this area. So basically that would mean we would have to hold a support at this level. Now we want to, so we would have to hold a support around this level, and the price would have to hold that support and continue to, possibly so find support here, and each time it moves up, it breaks out lower, or not breaks out, but it just moves up lower and lower and lower, making lower highs until it connects with that support. And that will give us that bull flag, which will give us another breakout to the upside, possibly targeting, these next resistance levels around that 1,200 points per coin level. So that's one thing I'm looking at. But, we could pull a few indicators in here as well to help make our decision better. But first thing I want to do, I want to get some resistance points set up. So let's take a look at where Shiba Inu needs to hold in order to keep this momentum. So we want to look at previous resistance points in the chart. So we can see right around this area, we got some resistance here, and we got some resistance here, and about right here. So let's just drop this line here. So right around that 894 level, we need Shiba Inu to stay above that range if we want to continue this bullish movement. And if we look left in the chart, we can even see we found some support around this area and this area. So you want to look for historical significance. You want to look left in the chart to determine if any area lines up with where we're seeing that, we have resistance. Does that become a previous support area historically? So, or was it a previous support area historically? So we can see before we drop down in this range, when we found support here, yes, it broke under, but it broke back above. And then now we broke down, and now we're, resisting around this range before we just seen this breakout. So what I'm looking for is SHIB to hold this 894 level. If it can pull back to this level and use this as a support, that's fine. Remember, the charts need to breathe. It can't just continue to go up, 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 and up. It has to breathe. So there's something called an impulse where the green candles come in and push the price up. Then there's a correction. There's an impulse, correction, impulse, correction, impulse, correction, impulse, correction, impulse. Now we're just in a correction phase. But guess what comes after that correction? Another impulse. As long as we can hold above this level. If we break down under this level, then it looks like we may be targeting some, we got to look for other areas of key support. So around 704 points per coin, let's drop a support line there, because we do see support right there. We see some support right here too at 816. And these are smaller levels, usually you'll just go for the main areas, but I just want y'all to see each point that we can possibly pull back to. So what I'm doing is throwing a support line underneath all these ranges. So if the price breaks below this 894 range, then it's likely moved down to 816. And if we go under 816, then to me, that's going to be really tough. We might even be able to keep this bullish momentum if we, stay above that 816 range. But really, I think we would have to remain above 894 to keep that happening. But, some excitement because we're close to Shibarium could, even if it did pull back to that 819 range, could take us back above this 894 range and hold that as a support, which can become back bullish again for us. So let's also throw a trend line up here so we can take a look at the trend. Remember, the trend is your friend. So we want to look at this line here. We're putting it right along the support areas. Notice the price everywhere, every time it pulls back to this trend line, it becomes a support. Support it, breakout, support it, breakout, support it. So we could see prices, likely find support again along this 824 range or 819 range. So that's why you want to use multiple, indicators, charting, lines or tools, because this will help you, get confirmation and determine what's likely to happen. So we would love for it to stay above this range, but it technically could still play out in this range and still be considered bullish. So anywhere along this 819, 840, keeping this range right here, as long as it doesn't break, we want to keep it above this line. But if it does happen to fall below this line, we want it to at least respect this trend line here. If it violates this trend line and drops below this line, then we toast. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. Now, obviously not toast forever, but just for the short term, that means the price will be breaking all the way back down to these 700 points per coin level and targeting back even possibly, just flat out 5 zeros, 700. So keep that in mind as well. Now, if we do see some, excitement, because remember, we got 10 days until Shibarium. I will be doing a live stream every day until that point, keeping y'all updated with everything going on. But if we do, start to break back out, like I said, I could see something like this playing out. So something along the lines of, you know, respecting this area here. So something, the candles might trade in this range where we respect this line here, and this kind of forces the price, you know, back down where it chokes people out. People get confused on what's playing out. But then once we tap this line, it can become bullish again and break out back into this new range here. So, you know, that's one thing that could take place, you know, and sometimes it's not perfect. You know, it jumps around a little bit, but that's what I'm seeing playing out for now. And remember, I don't have a crystal ball here. I'm not the grand wizard. All I can do is, you know, predict what's likely to happen by interpreting the data that the chart is telling us. So if we do break outside of this range, I'm expecting to see possibly targeting you know, somewhere in this range, give or take a little bit. I'm just looking at the rough area of it. So right around this 1,200 points per coin, maybe 1170. It says right here, we can move it up a little bit more to get a little higher, but just right around that range. And if we look left in the chart for historical significance, we can see that that same line we just targeted, or that we just dropped, is also a resistance point here, here, here. We can see it was for briefly. Let me drag it so y'all can see it. We can see briefly it was a support in this area. So in this area right here, we can see it was a support. So previous supports become new resistance. So we could be targeting this area right here around 1170, you know, give or take a little bit, possibly 1,200 points per coin. And then if we break that area, it's a lot of choppiness within here, but I think we're, you know, after that point, like I said before, going around that 1,400 points per coin level. So that's what I think can likely play out. Either of these scenarios, you know, you got to look at the good and also look at the bad scenarios as well, just to, you know, kind of be a little more accurate. But we got a lot of resistance in this area up here. You see right here. Let's see. So you can see resistance in this area here, right here, and right here. It did break out a little bit above that area, but we see it respecting it right here. So that's our, you know, next major area that we're targeting if we could break outside of this range. We already got up to the 1052 level. Next level around 1,200 points per coin, give or take a little bit, maybe 1170, 1180, and then 1,400 points per coin, give or take a little bit. And on the bad side, we target 8. We need to hold in order for this to continue. As long as we stay above 897, we could possibly continue this bullish momentum, especially as we get closer to Shibarium. If that violates and we break down, we come to the, you know, 816 level, or we violate this trend line here, then it could be a bad sign. And that could take us even further down to that 750-ish range, and then 700 points per coin level. So that's what we got to pay attention to. Let me drag this over so y'all can see these levels. So this is the levels we were talking about here. So if the price, you know, stays and respects this trend line here, it can, you know, consolidate in this area until it, you know, hits this support line and either breaks out, or if it drops down and violates, you know, this trend line here, or excuse me, the support line at 900 points per coin, 890-ish, 8, whatever this is right in this range, then it's likely to head down here. We want to respect this trend line though. We want to keep this uptrend going. This is really what we want to pay attention to. Even if it gets scary, as long as it, you know, respects this trend line here, it can still remain bullish. It can come all the way down and trade right here to 870, as long as it's respecting this, and still be considered bullish. So keep that in mind. If it breaks down and violates this trend line, it's coming down to here around 800 points per coin, 820-ish, you know, give or take. Then if it violates that, 850, 865-ish, 870-ish, right in this range. And then right here down to 700 points per coin, or 708. So that's all we got for this video. Just wanted to keep y'all informed on a few different scenarios on what's likely to play out with Shiba Inu. Now, obviously, I'm going for the bullish case because, you know, I'm a Shiba Inu bull, and we have a major event coming up with the Shibarium catalyst. So leave me a like on the video if y'all appreciate this. Let me know in the comment section. Drop hashtag Shib Army, hashtag Shiba Clock, you know, just so we know I got the real ones in the building. Appreciate y'all for pulling up, and we are